Hello, fatties, fasters and fat fasters. Time to talk about fasting. Play the intro. One thing I want to discuss with you today, now that I've got some decent audio, is a bit more detail about what intermittent fasting actually is. Intermittent fasting isn't really the correct term. I mentioned this in episode 1. It's more of a time-restricted feeding. So it's where there are certain hours in the day where you can and can't eat. Those are known as a fasting window. So most of the day you're out of your window, you can't eat. And a portion of the day you're in your window and you can't eat. That's the most important thing. The diet side of things is not really anything to do with it. However, it makes sense. If you want better results, you eat better. To get the best results, have a good diet, balanced diet, as they always say, a balanced diet, and use your eating window. If you want to start this, and I said before, check with a health professional, do a lot of research, look into it, think if it's for yourself. If you don't really have much to lose, I don't really recommend it. If you've got a decent bit of chub on you, definitely give it a go. What I will say is, start off slow. Don't just jump in. Myself, I do a 6-hour window, and that means 18 hours of the day I don't eat. My exact window is 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. and outside of that window, water only. And within that window, I try and have 3 meals. Breakfast at 1 o'clock, but that's when you break your fast. Breakfast, see, already taught you something. Snack in the middle of the day, probably 3:30, and then I will finish my eating window between, say, roughly 6:30, and that's the last I'll eat. You gotta love when the camera cuts off. I've been doing the intermittent fasting on and off for the last couple of years, as you can tell. So when I decided to go back and do this, I just jumped straight into where I got to the last time, which was the 6 hours eating window and the 18 hours not eating. What I would recommend is if you're just starting out with it, or you have done it before but it's probably been a couple of years, your body's readjusted back to the way you're eating now, would be to start off slow. This is always the key. Start off slow with a bigger eating window. So maybe start, you could do 12 hours eating, 12 hours not eating. I think that's not great. But if you're worried about it, or the side effects that do come with it, and I'll discuss the side effects at the end. Or you could do the 10-hour eating window with the 14-hour not eating window. Or if you think that's a bit easy for you, what most people would do is 8 hours eating window and 16 hours non-eating window. That is the most common one. If you do it and you like it, you could do what I did and then just incrementally, slowly brought the eating window smaller. So I went from 8 hours, then I brought it down to 7 hours eating, and then where I am at 6 hours eating. What I do find myself doing at the minute is not even really doing 6 hours, doing maybe 5, 4.5, but that isn't really a good thing. That can bite you. You may go into what they call starvation mode, although there's a bit of debate whether that's really a thing. But I would suggest, if you are doing a 6-hour window, stretch it out the 6-hour window. And another mistake people would make would be not eating enough during the window. What you might find there is, again, the starvation mode thing, but also you'll not get enough of your nutrients and your vitamins and things like that. And even if you really think you are eating enough, I would suggest while you're fasting to be taking vitamins and minerals with your water on maybe first thing in the morning, just to make sure you are supplementing the vitamins and minerals that you do need, just to try and maybe stave off getting any sort of colds or whatever. Side effects, when you first begin, probably the first couple of days you don't really notice much difference. You obviously you're really hungry, but a couple of days after, maybe it's not the same for everyone, but most people do say you get probably day 3, day 4, you start feeling strange, more sick, kind of a lightheaded, a bit less energy for a little while, but that will pass, and as soon as you get through that, and the longer you give it, the easier and easier it gets, and it just turns into your way of life, and I personally find it easier. Episode 3 of the journey from being fat to not fat. With all the feedback I got from the last video, it was mostly positive, and a lot of it was focused on probably too much of the scenery, as I also am aware of. Problem is, at the point of filming, I only had the iPhone camera microphone, which, if you know anything about them, is terrible, to put it frankly. Not too bad indoors, but outdoors, unusable. If you watch that video, go back and look at it. If you watched it, you'll see, not good. So what I have done is I bought myself a new microphone, the MV88 Plus, which is what you're hearing now. Hopefully a lot better, a lot crisper, and when I take it out in the field, hopefully I'll be able to do more talking, walking and talking, so to speak, and there'll be less of the scenic shots, although I like them, so they're staying. So this is what we're all here for. Week 2 results, and the results are in. Yep, 19 stone, 2 pounds. Not bad, yeah. That's 12 3/4 pounds in 14 days. That's from 20 stone and 3/4 of a pound. Yes, I was that fat. No, I won't be that fat again. I'm going to set myself goals for each month for the next 8 months. And my main goal is to get 5 stone off, down from 20 3/4 down to about 15, say. The first month was 1 stone in a month, and the forfeit was the beard had to go. The beautiful, lovely, long beard, which I miss so much. But anyway, so the first month was due to end in mid-February. 2 weeks from now, obviously. So I'm nearly there already. So what I want you to do is let me know, should I just stick to the 1 stone? Should I change the date perhaps? Or should I change the first month target to something a bit more? Let me know, because I'm not quite sure what to do. So yeah, that's it. Get fasting, do a bit of research, tons of water, eat healthy during your window, just like me. See? All in one take. Ready and flow.